Ladies and gentlemen, hello. This is Halil İbrahim Sarıkaya from Voice of Turkey. Today, 18th of November 2022, and this is the Voice of Turkey's English language transmission broadcasting from Ankara in the 25-meter band between 1330 and 1430 UTC on 12035 kHz to Europe. You can listen to us over the Turksat 3A and 4A satellites and on the internet at www.trt.net.tr through the Voice of Turkey link. Our email address is englishdesk@trt.net.tr. Following the news and review of Turkish press, the Voice of Turkey will present some programs and some music. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has thanked President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Turkey following the extension of the grain deal signed between Russia and Ukraine. Without their generosity and determination, this initiative would have never been possible, the UN chief said. Guterres expressed his contentment with another 120 days extension of the grain deal, which was signed with the mediation of Turkey and the UN between Russia and Ukraine. Extending his gratitude towards President Erdogan and Turkey, Guterres wrote on his Twitter account, as the Quad meeting agreed on the renewal of the WebSDR, I want to express my deep appreciation to Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Turkey. Without their generosity and commitment, this initiative would never have been born. Istanbul remains the center of a remarkable diplomatic achievement. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has thanked President Erdogan and the UN Secretary General Guterres for the decision made yesterday to continue the Black Sea grain corridor deal. Zelensky said in a late-night video message posted on his Telegram account that thanks to the Black Sea grain corridor agreement, since August 1st, more than 450 ships have exported near 11 million tons of food products from the ports of Odessa region. He said, we have shown every effort to develop this shipment, and I would like to thank to all our partners who helped us, especially UN Secretary General Guterres and Turkey and its President Erdogan in person. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan held a phone conversation with Russian President Vladimir Putin, according to a statement made by the Presidential Directorate of Communications. Regional issues, especially the developments in Turkey-Russia relations and the grain corridor, were discussed during the meeting. During the meeting, President Erdogan thanked Putin for his constructive stance on the 120-day extension of the Istanbul Agreement on grain exports, starting that the prolongation of the Russia-Ukraine war, which has been going on since February 24th, will increase the risk and therefore diplomatic talks should be reviewed. President Erdogan stated that the contact of the Russian and American intelligence heads in Turkey play a key role in preventing an uncontrolled escalation in the field. Underlining that Turkish century has begun, Foreign Minister Çavuşoğlu said in a united Turkic world is not to anyone's disadvantage. Mevlüt Çavuşoğlu met his Turkish capital, Ankara, with his Mexican counterpart, Marcelo Ebrard. The duo held a press conference following the meeting and said they both welcomed the continuous progress in every area of the bilateral ties between Turkey and Mexico, adding our relations have a significant potential and we need to fulfill this potential. We have taken up this today. Emphasizing the need for lifting the obstacles before the trade, Foreign Minister Mevlüt Çavuşoğlu said they have reached a consensus on reviving the talks on free trade agreement in the first quarter of the next year. He also added that with the Turkish TV series have become popular in Mexico, the interest in learning Turkish is also on rise, resulting in launching Turkish face-to-face lessons in Mexico. Separately, Foreign Minister Mevlüt Çavuşoğlu also criticized the United States and the European Union for threatening the Turkic world during the process to grant observer status to the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, We have seen that the US and the EU put pressure on members of the Organization of Turkic States and even threatened them. They should not forget the fact that Turkic world no longer bends its knees in the face of such threats, whether it be the EU or the US. The top Turkish diplomat told a joint news conference with his Mexican counterpart Marcelo Ebrard in the capital Ankara. He noted that Turkey or the Turkish Republic Northern Cyprus will not seek permission for the latter's observer status in the global organizations, harshly criticizing the US for disturbing the balance regarding its stance on Turkey-Greece relations and the Cyprus issue. Çavuşoğlu urged Washington to adopt a balanced stance and acknowledge Greece and the Greek Cypriot administration's violations of international law. Mustafa Şentop, the Speaker of the Turkish Grand National Assembly, is in Turkmenistan on an official visit. The first of Şentop's contacts was the President of Turkmenistan, Serdar Berdimuhamedov. The Speaker of the Grand National Assembly of Turkey conveyed the greetings of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to the Turkmen leader. Berdimuhamedov, for his turn, expressed his satisfaction with the development of commercial, political, cultural, and parliamentary relations between the two countries. After the meeting, Mustafa Şentop addressed Turkmenistan National Council Assembly. In his address, Şentop said, "As long as we maintain our existing strong ties based on brotherhood, historical and cultural ties, mutual respect and trust between our countries, as long as we develop our cooperation in transportation, trade, energy, relations between our peoples, education, social and cultural fields, we will be together as the leading countries of the developing Asia on the world stage." North Korea fired an apparent long-range ballistic missile toward the East Sea on Friday, according to South Korean military. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said it detected the launch from Sunan district in North Korea's capital, Pyongyang. While strengthening our monitoring and vigilance, our military is maintaining a full readiness posture in close cooperation with the US. Yonhap news agency quoted the Joint Chiefs of Staff as saying, "On Thursday, North Korea fired a short-range missiles into the East Sea." Meanwhile, as Asia-Pacific leaders have gathered in Bangkok for a two-day summit to focus on global economic woes, North Korea has marked the opening of the talks with this intercontinental ballistic missile test. Japanese officials said the intercontinental ballistic missile landed just 200 kilometers of Japan and had sufficient range to reach the mainland of the United States. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, who is in Bangkok for an APEC meeting, told reporters that North Korea had repeated its provocations with unprecedented frequency. Protests intensify in Iran with reports of deaths from both sides. According to a report by the Iranian state IRNA news agency, during protests in the Bukan city of the West Azerbaijan district, weapons were used in the clashes between the security forces and protesters, as a result of which 2 members of the state security forces were killed on Thursday night. Also during clashes on Wednesday night, 3 security personnel, one of which was a lieutenant colonel, were killed in the cities of Mashhad and the Sandinest. Back on Wednesday, a colonel of the Iranian army was shot down by unidentified protests in Bukan. Some Iranian sources claim that at least 50 members of the security forces were killed in the clashes. Iranian officials' news sources do not give reports about the number of deaths of protesters. However, Norway-based human rights organization recently placed the civilian death toll at 342, with multiple reports of police firing randomly with the live bullets on the protesters. Back in September, 22-year-old Masha Amini was taken into custody for not properly covering her hair. Upon the news of her death by beating on 16 September, protest has erupted and spread to the entire country. Since 1979, Iran is run by a strict Islamist regime which oppresses the whole of its people, but especially the women. Anti-establishment sentiment has been running high, especially among the country's young population, with reports of some mass protests in the past decade. Experts note that this is the strongest uprising in the history of post-revolution Iran. And that was the news brought to you by the Voice of Turkey.